Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode, Car Rides with Schla. And today we woke up probably feeling better than I've felt in a very long time. I had at least two dreams last night, and the two I could remember are, you know, pretty interesting to say the least. Well, actually, no, the first one's more interesting. It was like the middle of the night, and it was pretty scary. It was definitely a pretty scary dream. It was like I was at my back door, and there was someone trying to kill me. Like he was just some deranged person, and I kept like I had the door locked, and then I had my hands. Well, there's a screen door that you could lock, and then you could also lock the like actual door. You know what I'm saying? So I had locked the screen door, and then I had to lock the actual back door. And even with that, I still had my hands on the handle, like the doorknob. I still had my hands like on the doorknob to try to prevent this guy from being able to get in. And God only knows he made it through the storm door lock. So I that knob was like my last resort, and I'm not really sure what happened, but it was incredibly stressful. And yeah, this deranged person was after me, and I wanted to take a note to like notice this pattern of during dreams. A lot of the times I have like dreams of little mechanical failures like that. So in this case, it was stress about a lock, like a door locking. And then in the other case, it was that dream where I had, if you remember, the brake in my car stopped working. So you notice, like, I do think there's a pattern where I have these dreams with these anxieties about different mechanical failings, if that makes any sense. In one case, it was my brake failing. In another case, it was a lock failing, protecting me from danger. And I just wonder what the meaning of that is. Luckily, I'm recording it, so, at some point I'll probably ask GPT, but I mean, either way, it could just come to me as well, what that really symbolizes or means about my greater psyche, you know? So yeah, I think I don't know, it's just an interesting trend I'm noticing. And then my second dream was just kind of like honestly a pretty typical good dream that I have. It's actually getting to talk to people. For some reason in my dreams, it's all very free and it's very easy for me to talk to others. In real life, it's not. There's a lot of stress or anxiety or you know, just I've talked about that before. Like, I'm just pretty shy, and it's a shame because I want to talk so badly, but I can intuitively tell that the people around me, they're just not really interested in having the type of conversations I want to have. So that's happened multiple times, where I just like want to say something to someone, but figure that they won't really be able to appreciate it. And that is the truth, because it's likely like I would say something to somebody and then they would they'd probably forget about the conversation, but for me it would be like I'd remember it. So there's like, yeah, I mean, it's rough. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely rough. Um but yeah, I mean, I think there's that trend, but I woke up and I actually felt pretty good. Like I really wasn't that like the past couple days. Like it's been kind of a challenge to get out of bed. Of course, I say that, but honestly, if you compare me to most people, I probably have a lower get out of bed latency than like anybody. So, I mean, I don't know that I would really dock me too many points. I mean, because from my understanding, it's like lots of people will be slow to the bed. I mean, slow to get out of bed. Like from what I hear, you know, it's just like that seems to be like a super super common thing. Yeah, I don't know. So it is what it is. But I was pretty happy. I think it's also because it's Friday, and I'm only going in for a shorter day finally, because every single day this week has been a long day, and it's gonna be like that. It's kind of gonna be like that next week and the week after. So I'm really looking forward to that. But then I think we'll have a bit of a normal schedule, but it's what it is. It's kind of a good time, you know, the holidays and stuff. And yeah, not too much to complain about. Need to be mentally prepping for my saving period and all that good stuff of 2026. And yeah, it's actually, I guess it's kind of fun to still be able to feel and remember, you know, when I was a child and the way it felt around the holidays and Christmas, you know, having a break from school, and back then that seeming like such a long break, whereas now, you know, ever since I got older, the hyper obsessiveness around time, it really threw me off, and it makes it difficult to really enjoy anything. Everything kind of feels like a blur, because I'm always just thinking about like the amount of time and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting now that I spurred the thought, but I know for certain like most people can't they can't remember. I think that actually might be a big reason why a lot of adults get kind of grumpy, or they're not really adults, because without memory, you basically are still fundamentally a child. It's only the things that you remember that cause you to grow, right? Is that a fair thing to say? It's only the things that you remember that cause you to grow. You could be 60 years old, but if you only remember bits and pieces of your previous life, then I don't really think you've experienced much growth as a person that you can actually apply towards any type of like furthering of your self, you know? I think it's an interesting thing to think about. I'm just kind of thinking of that now. I'm curious as to what GPT would have to say about that. You know, yeah, because really that probably explains most of it. Like, without memory, what are we? You're not really older. I think that might be another reason why it may just take me longer. Because if my strength is memory, that's something that takes a long time, and it's basically always going to get better and better. You know, the older I get, the more that strength will show, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting to think about, isn't it? Like, when you're younger, when you're a child, if you have a really good memory, that's not. Well, again, I want to point out too that my memory, it's not really great when it comes to these like details, you know, these like little details or little numbers, you know, like remembering things for a test. No, that's not really, that doesn't do anything for me. My memory's horrible in that regard. It's feelings, it's experiences, it's remembering how I felt in reaction to this, how this felt, how it was like being here, how it was like being there. That's like the difference. It's not like, oh, I can just read a book and then have photographic memory of everything. My photographic memory is of emotional experiences. That's where it's strongest. And so that's like the type of thing doesn't really matter to broader society because, why would it matter to broader society? You know what I mean? Just like, it just doesn't matter to broader society. I don't know. Is what it is, but yeah, that's why, I don't have any quantitative thing to like give. It's more abstract, which means I'd probably have to venture into like some kind of creative work or something in order for something like that to be captured, I guess. Kind of what I think. I don't know. And so, yeah, it's interesting to reminisce on that. And I kind of forgot my main point of the video here. I kind of forget the main point of the... Whoa! That guy did not need to do that. I saw him, like, we were at a stop sign, and of course I'm going very gradually and slowly, and he just swung right out. Like, his car whipped. Like, dude, just, like, chill out, man. Like, these people need to chill out. I know everybody's telling me, oh, this guy needs to speed up. That's, like, what everybody else is thinking. Nah, dude, chill. Chill is so much more valuable than speed. Like, speed doesn't even get you anywhere. Speed doesn't even get you anywhere. The world would be fine if everybody was chill, but if everybody was speedy, that would be, like, a terrible place to live, That's just proven in, like, the metrics. I mean, you're not... Your car's just worse off with a speedy driver. You have to be chill. You have to be chill. Oh, great. This person really... Yeah, they really had to ruin it for me because they're driving pretty fast, so I wasn't able to make my... Yo, this person again. They're like really, they're really on my tail, kind of. In your silly, like, cheap Jeep Renegade. Like, I don't know why you're driving that thing. It's going to break. Driving a Jeep Renegade like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure it's a Jeep Renegade. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's in the dark. But the Patriot actually has like a similar design to it, to the Renegade. But I think it's a Renegade. But it could be a Patriot because the Patriot and the Renegade do really have like the same design language, I guess. So, well, like in the dark, it's pretty difficult to tell. But my first guess was Renegade, so I think we're gonna go with the first guess, not with the, the second. No turn signal on merging either. No, I was right. It's the Renegade. It's the Renegade. And again, driving that thing like that, that car's not reaching its life expectancy. No way. No, absolutely no way. But yeah, being chill, there's something special to being chill. There's nothing special to being fast. I mean, that's just not a good trait. Unless it's work. Work's the only time being fast matters. If you're but even then it can be risky. Yeah, sorry for that. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I think I have a cold or something. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, what am I talking about? Yeah, that really threw me off, that noise I just made. Oh, you know what I was thinking of this morning, in regards to like just feeling good? I think sometimes you kind of just have to use the reptile brain just to keep you going, just to think about the like basicness of, I mean, to me though, it's always like feeling good about time-based things. So it's like, if tomorrow's Friday, I'm feeling very good. Well, today's Friday, like I'm feeling very good. But if today was like Monday, it's kind of like, I don't know. I have to spend most of my time thinking about Friday, and that just doesn't feel as good. But yeah, there's so many times like, so I guess I have to focus on that. Like that's how my brain can't really deal with the present. But if I think about the future and I still think about it in a positive, hopeful way, I think that keeps me going, better than, anything else really. Because it's definitely just about time for me. It's absolutely just about time. I'm just so like obsessed and aware with time and stuff, and trying to figure out, well, when I was a kid, I used to be obsessive because my mom would tell me about how many days, like each year it would be a little bit different for Christmas break. Some days it would be short, some days it would be long. Just depends on when Christmas Eve and Christmas Day fall on the calendar, and New Year's Eve. The way all those fall on the calendar would dictate the breaks, I would always just be hyper focused, and it would genuinely give me more enjoyment if I was aware of it being a special longer break, as opposed to a shorter one. Difference would only be a day or two or three, but I think mostly just a day or two difference year between year. But for some reason I would just get so obsessed, and it would feel so good to have the extra day, and it would feel so much better. Like, I don't really actually experience things, and that's one of the huge problems. Is what I do during the time is not as important to me as the time itself, if that makes any sense. Like, I would just feel better about having like a 10-day off break as opposed to a 5-day off break, and I think I would rather have that than like a boring 10-day off break versus a not boring 5-day off. I don't know. I would just take the boredom because it's like extra time. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. It probably doesn't. But that's just, I think, a good way to describe how my brain is. Might not be a great way to describe it, but I do genuinely think that is how I feel. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of how I feel. So, yeah, it's interesting, I know. Very interesting. But it showcases, most people just, they don't really remember, and they don't really notice that. Like, they would just go through their Christmas break, and they wouldn't really remember or care that it was a day longer or a day shorter. Like, that's like the last thing on their mind. They might think about that for a few seconds, but they don't care. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they completely don't care. And so, yeah, it's just like, that's like the difference. Whereas for me, it's obviously the paramount factor. Like how many days I have off, and thinking about the time, and I'm always like thinking about the day and the time and what time it is, and all that kind of stuff. I love looking at clocks. I mean, it's just, I probably look at a clock more often than most people during a day. So, I love to keep track of time. I do. I definitely just do. I love to keep track of time. Yeah. Really is that simple. So it enables some good traits, which is that, I'm basically never late for anything. I basically don't forget about anything, especially important things like maybe potential appointment or something along those lines, it's usually pretty difficult for me to like forget, just because of how, you know, obsessive I am in that way. And that's a good thing. But what's a bad thing is what's a bad thing? Yeah, you don't have as much peace that way. You know, like the way I think, because people act like, when I talk like this, everybody's just so stupid. They just immediately hear something and, oh, I'm jealous of that. Oh, I'm jealous of that. Oh, I'm jealous of that. Like, everything has a good, a pro, and a con. Okay? If you're good at planning, if you're, you know, bad at procrastinating, and you're like me, there's a lot of bad that comes with that. You're not really able to let go and just live sometimes, you know? It's not just all good. Whereas, honestly, the way society is set up, it's for a median. You get set up for a median human. So, if you have somebody who occasionally misses an appointment, it's not really that consequential for their life. They might just have to pay some fee, some like small, it might be like, oh, you missed an appointment, $50 fee. But that is so much more worth it, honestly. It's because it meets the median of like how most people think, and you're able to be free and kind of enjoy this free society, because that's what we have right now. It's a society based on freedom, and you have baked into it like you're supposed to kind of fool around, you're supposed to kind of procrastinate or forget about things. Like, that's kind of the whole idea behind this society. Now, the way I think, it would be beneficial if the rest of society matched it. So let's say in the future you really got pounded for being late to something, because there was just less of a tolerance for it, because you have the Neuralink. So obviously it's like the perception of time could be so much different or so much better. Well, actually, maybe it wouldn't be. Even if you had a clock plastered on you at all times, I still think people's ability to gauge time is terrible. I mean, it's really bad. People really have a bad time gauging time. I'm easily the best person I've met when it comes to like giving time estimates, but I'm still off, obviously. It's just, I'm usually only off by a few minutes, but just in general, people's ability to gauge things is horrible. It's horrible. Now, that's another thing where people hear that and they go, "Oh, I'm jealous of that. He's an ego. And it's like, no, because the problem with with me being able to quantify and gauge things so well is it makes life, it's very hard to enjoy something, because I'm always just aware of all the ins and outs of it. For example, when I purchase something, I mean, I can't just purchase something. That would seem like terrible to me. There would always be this like sinking feeling. I have to like, if I want something, I have to put it on eBay. Well, not like put it in my saved list on eBay and basically monitor it until I get lucky and can get it for a good deal. Because it's not like, my brain is not going to be happy if I just buy something brand new. I'm just not, like, that just doesn't mean anything to me. That seems like useless or senseless. It's just not really that special. So I have to be interested in something and try to get it at a good deal. Which, yeah, I mean, again, you might say it's a good thing, but it's not. I mean, yeah, like spending time cycling through eBay, it's fun for me. It's entertaining or whatever. But you guys might just actually get to enjoy your life and then just buy something at a regular price and have like a lot more peace of mind about it, you know? So, like, to me, that seems like, well, you probably would rather want that. I mean, it's like my brain may be better, but better is such a vague term. Then when you go into like, well, is it enjoyable to be residing in this guy's brain? Because the whole point is like, I never win, because you never really can, right? That's the problem. I mean, I'm better than most people, but things still fall down to chance. They fall down to luck. And the truth is, I've bought stuff on eBay before, only to find out that an even better deal came up, just a week later, just a month later. And then, of course, I know about it, and then it really sticks in my mind, and then I'm upset about that. Even though I got a relatively good deal, and I think on average, I probably, if you added up the amount of times I've gotten good deals, it's been better than most. That's not something you don't even have control over. You know what I mean? It's very much just about fate and destiny and kind of just God's time at that point. I can try to control for as many variables as I can, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just completely impossible to, get everything that you want, like at a low price. I mean, again, like I said, overall, that's probably the case for me. The things that I've had control over, I am very good at saving money, very good at finding these really good deals and all this stuff. Like, and that's definitely deserves credit, but there's still people who, in any singular instance, have probably gotten a better deal than me. Just because of chance, just because, you can't, like, I don't know, you just can't control for some things, And so I'm never really satisfied. Like, the brain I have, it has its advantages, but it's like, I'm never really like, oh, this is good. It's always looking for, like, and always kind of resenting that I couldn't get this or I didn't buy that. Like, because sometimes I'll buy something, but I'll make an offer instead of pulling the trigger, hoping I can get it even lower, and then it's sold, and I'm like, man, what was I thinking? Like, I should just bought that. That was way too cheap, or like, so that's another disadvantage. You get stuck in your head like a lot, and that does not happen to people, but for me, like, I really do get stuck in my head like a lot. And so making a quick decision, I've lost out on a lot. I've lost out on a lot because, I should have made like a quick decision and I didn't, and then I missed out on something good because I just didn't have enough time to process it, because I'm like trying to process through so many different feelings and emotions and rationales for like why I should purchase this or that. Like, you see, already at this point, you're probably exhausted, like, hearing all this. You're probably like thinking like, what on earth is going on with this guy? So I don't really see it as a flex. It's just like, everything that happens has like a prerequisite, especially since we're a consequence. So I don't know why I said prerequisite. I almost mean like a prerequisite, but just a requisite. I don't think that's really a word, but it's like a consa-requisite. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to do in my head. Like there's some kind of like everything is give and take, that kind of vibe. That's how I feel. That's definitely how I feel. Because I've always seen the world that way. I mean, being smarter, it has its advantages, but it's only if the intellect is something that society values. If society doesn't value it, then now your intellect just makes you more of a vegetable. So there's like a lot to that, I think. I really think there's a lot. There's a lot to it. And people are just so stupid, because it's also like everybody has pros and cons. I got a lot of cons too. I feel like I'm just like a one-trick pony in a lot of ways, because I mean, what do I have to offer instead of other than talking? It's like, I don't know. I mean, that probably isn't entirely true. I still do stuff, I would say, more precise than most people. Like, I don't know, a lot of people do sloppy work, but I don't really do fast work. I don't really like to like speed through things. I can in bursts, but when it comes to like consistently doing something fast. There's definitely people that can just do things faster than me. There's no doubt about that. And again, that's like a more useful skill than doing something slow but making sure it's straight. Just is what it is. Like, I don't know. It's possible at some point it would pan out that I'm able to do things precise, but for the time being, it's just like it's just not that useful. Like, people would rather me be able to like punch out a bunch of stuff super fast and easily, but I don't like that. It's unsettling to me. Like I said, I think I'm very far in my head, and it's hard to kind of get out of that. And I just like to be able to process things. I like things to be slow and meaningful, and be able to process them, as opposed to just being like zipping by. And that's really why I have so many gripes with humans, because that is so antithetical to how humans operate. I mean, humans, they just want things to be rushed. They want things to be fast. They don't really care about meaning. They just forget about this, forget about that. I mean, that is how like a human is. And so the way people communicate, what people send in terms of the images and videos that they send, it all is very reflective of that they're not looking for meaning, they're not looking for purpose, they're not looking for things with longevity. They're just basically goofing off, as far as I can tell, and they don't care, and they're not going to remember what they sent. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what I don't like about people. That's really what I don't like about people. It's very yeah, and they don't remember any of the important details you tell them, because it's much more important that they're focused on their silly entertainment stuff or whatever. Beats me why any of that would really be that important or memorable. But yeah, the main flaws with humanity, the main flaws. But yeah, I think that that sums up a lot, doesn't it? Did also wake up with a little bit of a headache brewing, which could ruin an otherwise amazing day. But hopefully that will subside. But I honestly don't have too much hope. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. But yeah. No, I think that was a pretty concisive rant. I guess I don't know, my brain just shut off. So it's like, don't really have much else to say, if you're wondering how I was flowing through all that, and then now it's like, no, I just started doing that. Just I don't know, just to be silly. And yeah, it's just like, now the goal would be to cut through these reds, which actually may be possible. It's a little bit risky, but no, I think we're good. Yep, my brain figured it out, but then we're gonna get stuck at the next red, so I might as well actually not say all that perfect timing just to get stuck at the next red. That's a shame. Can't win them all, I guess. That's a shame. That's just a shame, man. This is a shame because I really need to get there. Well, I don't really need to, but I want to. I really wanted to get there on time, and yeah, getting stopped at that red. Here's this guy in his speedy Cadillac passing me. Yeah, that's great, man. I might get the same time. Well, we're getting struck with a red, but you know, if it changes, we gotta hope this. Yep, it struck green. I think we're in the clear. I think we're gonna get the same time as yesterday or better. That's my probably just the same though. I don't. Actually, depends. No, yeah, probably. Because we'd have to get there mighty fast. Yeah, I think we're just going to end up with the same time as yesterday, and it's going to be a relatively poor timing. Now, look, this speedy Cadillac, yeah, we're definitely, because there's this, like, slow car here, so it's just going to be the same as yesterday. This speedy Cadillac that passed me up is now stuck behind the slow truck anyway. So now he's only it's like me, then there's a truck, looks like a GMC something. Can't really tell. I actually can't even remember what the GMC is. I feel like very stupid for that. Sierra, right? Yeah, I think it's the Sierra. Anyways, yeah, there's like a GMC Sierra, and then there's like the Cadillac that passed me, and obviously he got nowhere, and his fuel and additional wear and tear on that precious Cadillac was wasted. Like, if I had that Cadillac, I would take better care of it than that guy. So it should just be mine. That's what I'm saying about redistribution, private property abolishment. Like, let's start to get somewhere with this stuff. I don't know what that guy is doing, dude. He, like, didn't move out of the way. That was so weird, and he honked at me. It was some, like, van. What? He could have just, like, gotten over, but he, like, didn't get over, and then he just, like, honked at me. Cause how was I supposed to get around him? I don't even know. That was like a weird situation, but I can't believe he had to honk. I really wanted to honk back at him. Yeah, see, yeah, it was like really tight. It's gonna be like a 5-second not in my favor, like an 8-second, you know. I guess actually, it's not that tight, but. Yeah, I can't believe that guy did that, cuz he could have turned around me. Yeah, I don't know. That was just weird. All right, well, here we go, same time as yesterday. Well, we made it here. Now we just got to get through here. That's all we got to do now, and then we'll be in the clear. All right. All right, guys. Well, it's definitely binge Schla, but now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.